encourage you to sit at the edge of a blanket folded like this. And just sit at the edge of it. That's going to support your lower back, especially L4, L5. You don't have to cross your legs if that does not feel good for your body. You can stretch them out, feet on the mat. Really making sure that your yoga practice works for you today. So wiggle around, feel your sit bones grounding you into the earth. Soften your shoulders, your neck, your mouth. And then start to settle in. Resting your hands on your thighs and gently press the hands into the thighs. Feel your spine growing long. Relax your shoulders. And start to notice your breath. And as we start to settle in, I'll introduce myself. My name is Shraddha Hilda Oropeza. I'm the owner of Mindful Yoga Studio. Many of you have come to the studio, I think, for the last 4 or 5 years. So I appreciate that we can at least gather this way this time. So keep gently pressing the hands into your thighs. And notice how that feels. We're trying to start our practice by grounding. Sit bones grounding, heart lifting, shoulders relaxing. And the theme for today's class is going to be something that is very familiar for this group, for all of you. The theme is about resilience. Letting somebody else in. Right, so all of you in this group are very familiar with resilience. The definition that I'm using in regards to resilience is the capacity to be with challenge or difficulty without being overwhelmed and without shutting down, right? So it's building that capacity to be with challenging times, difficult times, without shutting down, and maybe even allowing for some transformation to happen during those challenges, right? And that's why I know most of you are very familiar with this concept. So for the next few breaths, in this moment, just think about what resilience means for you in this moment, not last week, not last year, but right here, right now, in this moment. What does being resilient mean for you? I find that through an embodied yoga practice, we can continue to build our resilience, right? So an embodied practice means that we stay grounded and we stay connected to the breath. So you're going to hear me refer to that a lot and ask you to come back to your breath, come back to the sensations in your body. That's helping to build resilience within the nervous system and the body. So let's bring the hands together in front of your heart and gently bow towards your heart. You're gently pressing the hands. Still feel the sit bones grounding you into the earth, and maybe you bow towards your precious heart. Right? We're bowing the intellect of the mind to the wisdom of the heart. Take a moment here to set an intention for your practice, for your day. Noticing your body, noticing your breath. One more breath in through the nose, and maybe you exhale through the mouth. Gently release your arms. You're going to bring your feet onto the mat. Feet are about hip distance apart. You're going to place the palms of the hands on the outsides of the knees, continuing to ground. So you're going to press into the feet, press the knees into the hands and the hands into the knees. Lift your heart, slide your shoulder blades down the back. And allow your breath to flow freely. Use grounding. Feeling the breath as you ground into the body, using your body and your breath as a resource. And then as you exhale, allow your knees to touch and round your back and tuck your chin. As you inhale, rock forward, lift your heart, knees apart, shoulders up and back and down. Exhale, knees touch, tuck the chin, round your back. Inhale, knees wide. Heart open to greet this day. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Continuing with your own breath and noticing what your nervous system needs. Right? For some of us, slowing down is going to be very grounding for the nervous system. For some of us, we might need to move a little bit faster. So honoring your body and what it needs today. A few more times. Continuing to wake up your morning spine, your morning body. Right? And part of building resilience or being resilient is knowing when you need to pause. It's knowing when you need to take a break. 3 more, nice and gentle. Breath linking the movement. All right, last time we lift the heart, and you can always do more or less. Everything we do today is an invitation, okay? So take a pause right here. Bring your hand to your heart, reconnect with your intention for this day. How do you want to show up in the world? And then gently release. Walk your feet in a little bit closer if that feels okay for your body. Right, I'm giving you these general cues, but always adjust to make sure that your body feels supported. Again, we want an embodied practice. Release your arms. Take your right arm out like a wing, palm facing forward. And then as you exhale, wrap your right arm around your shins. And then as you inhale, take your left arm up to the sky. Beautiful. I can see you. Everybody looks great. And then as you exhale, take your left arm back. So you're coming into a gentle twist. You're taking your navel, your rib cage, your heart to the left. And then just move your head around a little bit. And then decide where you want to pause with your head. Right? Sometimes the yoga books say, turn the head to the left. But what if that doesn't feel good for your body today? Maybe you'd rather turn your head to the right. So an embodied practice is really tuning in to your own body. Staying grounded with your breath. Take 2 more breaths right here. And then as you exhale, move nice and slow. Coming out of your twist, notice something about your body. Notice your breath. So often we're rushing from one thing to the next. We're not really tuning in. Like, how does this feel? So take another breath. All right. Left arm out like a wing, palm facing forward. Beautiful. And then slowly wrap your left arm around the shin. Yeah, you might have to negotiate with your partner if you're right next to somebody. Inhale your right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, take that right arm back behind you. Turn. As you take your navel, your rib cage, your heart to the right. And again, you don't need to become a little stiff statue. Move your head a little bit. Maybe there's a slight opening at the mouth. And then decide where you want to pause. Maybe you turn the gaze towards the right shoulder. Maybe you align your nose with your heart. Or maybe you take your gaze to the left shoulder. Take 2 breaths. And when you're ready, nice and slow, come out of your twist, tune into your body, grounding your nervous system by grounding into your body and your breath. And then you're going to stretch your left leg out. And you're going to release your right knee out to the right. So honor your body. Maybe you notice your right leg needs some support. Maybe you bring in a block or pillow, a blanket, something to make sure your right leg has some support if it doesn't release all the way to the earth. Extend out through your left heel. Inhale, lift your heart. Now imagine you're going to try to get your heart to your toes as you bow forward. So you're allowing your spine to go nice and long. Bowing forward, just enough for you to feel a stretch in that left leg. So you don't want to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed with that stretch. Let's make this a yin stretch, which means you're going to soften the muscles, allowing the stretch to get into the connective tissues. You can bring gentle movement to your head. Soften the legs and the muscles in the legs. Soften your shoulders. And notice the parts of the body that are grounding you into the earth, right? Noticing that we can feel the challenge of the pose and at the same time stay grounded. And notice the stretch. I love a yin stretch in the morning because the body's nice and tight from sleeping. So here you can feel the body, the left hamstring gently releasing. Take 5 more breaths and see if you can feel the subtle shifting and releasing happening deep within that left hamstring. And if your mind has drifted, gently bring it back to your leg. Give your body your full attention. With the next in-breath, decide you can stay here for a little bit longer or you can start to lift your heart as you come out of the shape. I invite you to stay present once you come out of the shape. Notice if your mind starts to wander. What happens if you make the choice to be present, to be with the breath? And don't worry, we are going to come onto the feet at some point. Okay, we're just kind of slowly easing into the balance. Now you're going to bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Kind of an upside down figure 4. And make sure you're not placing the ankle or the foot on your knee. Take your hands behind you. So using your hands, kind of a little stand for you can lift your heart. Now you can stay right here or you can bring your left foot onto the mat. The more you bring your left heel in closer to your sit bone, most likely the more you're going to feel it, right? But we don't want to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed. So keep adjusting until you feel the sensations in that right hip, right glute, right buttock. Lift your heart, slide your shoulder blades down the back. You can bend your elbows a little bit as you dip back a little bit, and maybe you take the gaze to that space where the wall meets the ceiling. Feel the gentle stretch across the heart. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Reconnecting with your intention for this day as you feel the sensations of your beautiful heart. And when you are ready, check in, right? You can stay here a little bit longer, or if your body is saying it's time to come out, slowly slide your left foot back out, your left leg back out. Unwind the legs. Stretch the right leg out, left leg out. Bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Take 3 breaths. Just noticing what's here right now. Grounding into your body. Grounding into your breath. Regulating your nervous system. There's so much happening in the world. Give yourself this time to regulate your nervous system. One more breath. And then gently release. We're going to come into that shape on the other side. Left foot onto the mat. Release the left knee out to the left. Adjust your sit bones. Make this shape right for your body. Maybe use a block or a blanket to support that left knee. Shift around, fix your clothes, whatever you need to do. And then inhale as you feel your spine grow long. You want to keep elongating the spine as you bow forward. And be mindful of your lower back. You don't want to overstretch your lower back muscles. Hands are on either side of that right leg. Reaching your heart towards your toes. And then eventually just allow your back to round. Soften the hands. And with the next exhalation, soften that right leg. Feel the muscles releasing away from the bones, allowing for stretching the connective tissues. Grounding into the parts of the body that are releasing towards the earth. Take 10 breaths here. Notice the length of your right leg. Moving your head anytime you need to. Soften your shoulders away from the ears. So once you're in your forward bend, you're no longer striving. You're just allowing yourself to be. Two more breaths. And when you are ready, check in. Making sure your yoga practice works for you. You can stay here a little bit longer, noticing the subtle releases of that right hamstring. Or whenever you're ready, you can gently lift your heart. Take a breath. Stay present. Ground into this moment by connecting with a part of the body, with your breath. Now let's come into that figure 4. So ankle on your right thigh, not on the knee. Hands behind you to help you lift your heart. So taking the right hand behind you, the left hand behind you. And you can stay right here, or you can bring your right foot onto the mat. And keep adjusting until this feels right for your body. You're extending out through that left heel to protect your knee. Lift your heart, slide your shoulder blades down the back. And you're tuning into that stretch on the left hip, left glute. Take 4 breaths. Keep bringing that right foot in if you're not feeling anything. And again, you don't want to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed. You just are looking for that gentle stretch. Notice if your mind wanders away when you are in a space that is silent. Come back to your breath, come back to your body. And with the next breath, gently slide that right leg all the way out. Release the left foot, stretch that left leg all the way out. Inhale, take your arms out wide and up to the sky. And notice the sensations in the sides of the body. Exhale, release the arms down in front of you. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, release. Now we're going to come on to hands and knees. I always encourage you to give your body extra love, even if you don't think it needs it. So in this case, that means use a blanket like this to support your knees. So place that in the middle of your mat. Knees hip distance apart, hands slightly above the shoulders. And maybe you do this a lot, right? But really set up your foundation, right? So you want to spread the fingers, press the pads of the fingers into the mat. That's going to protect your shoulders when you feel that engagement in your arms. Slide your shoulder blades down the back. Elbow creases pointing towards each other. There's a micro bend in your elbows. Knees hip distance apart. Let's do 4 or 5 cat-cows. Exhale, round your back, tuck your chin, tuck your pelvis. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart, lift your tailbone. Really be careful with your neck. This isn't about how high you can get the head. This is more about the pelvis and the spine. Initiating the movement from the pelvis. Last time, rounding the back, tucking the chin, tucking the pelvis. Last time, inhaling, dropping your belly, lifting your heart, lifting your tailbone. And then come back to a neutral place where your back is nice and straight. Your navel is in towards your spine, so you're not just like hanging out here. There's some engagement in the belly. With the next in-breath, take your right leg behind you. Extend out through that right heel and tap in with your right hip. Align your right hip with your left hip. Sometimes it's the right side starts to release towards the earth. Try to engage the muscles of the belly so the right hip is in line with the left hip. And stay right here or lift your right leg, going for length and not height. So lifting that right leg behind you. Staying here or taking the left arm out in front of you. Palm facing in, thumb facing up to the sky. And notice if you're a little wobbly, right? Staying grounded in that right hand, left knee. Building your resilience to be with challenge. Feel the spine growing long. Imagine I'm reaching for your left hand and your right ankle. And with the next breath, release the left hand, release the right knee, Gently lift your right hand, open and close the hand, releasing tension in your right wrist, in the hand, taking a pause to take care of yourself. All right, let's move on to the other side. So when you're ready, with the next in-breath, stretch your left leg behind you. Extend out through that left heel. Check in with your left hip. Align the left hip with the right hip so there's some engagement in the muscles of the belly. Press down on the pads of the fingers. Make sure the arms are engaged, protecting your shoulders. Stay here or lift your left leg, excuse me. And you're going for length, not height. Stay here, right? Knowing your capacity. Or maybe you reach the right arm out in front of you, palm facing in. And notice if you're breathing, can you bring your intention to life as you hold in shape? Left hip align with the right hip. Navel in towards the spine. What happens when your life gets a little wobbly? Can you stay with it? Can you ground? Can you breathe? Right hand to the earth. Left knee to the earth. Take your knees a little bit wider. Release your hips back towards your heels and bring your hands in to use the hands as a pillow for your head. Building your capacity, which at times means that we also need to rest. Right, so take 3 more breaths. Noticing how this feels for your lower back. Notice something about your body, right? Again, using your body as a resource to keep you present, to keep grounding your nervous system. All right, so after the next breath, you're going to stretch the arms out in front. And then you're going to walk the hands over to the right, just enough to get a stretch on the left side of the body. You're going to ground that left sit bone. Softening the mouth, take 2 breaths. And then gently walk your hands over to the left. Take 2 breaths. And then when you are ready, walk the hands back to center. Take the arms as wide as your shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. Come back onto hands and knees. We're going to come up onto the feet. Meet us there, or one way to do that is to go through downward facing dog. So the number one thing is to keep your body safe. So find your way onto your feet any way you'd like. Downward facing dog, you're tucking your toes, lifting the knees, taking the hips back. Your knees are bent a lot, protecting your back here. And then you're either going to walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet, whichever feels more solid for you. You're going to bend your knees a lot so that your torso is resting on your thighs. You're going to press your hands onto your thighs and lift your heart, coming into a standing position. Go ahead and remove the blanket that was supporting your knees. And you're gonna place your feet wide on your mat. Lift your toes. Feel the engagement in the legs, and then release the toes back down. And just hand to the heart, hand to the belly. Take a moment to check in. to connect with the parts of the body that are grounding you into the earth, to connect with your breath, allowing your breath to flow freely. Right, anytime we hold the breath, that's sending a message to the nervous system that something is wrong. And then that impacts the blood flow in the body, in the heart, in the limbs, the digestive system. So your breath is really important. Take 2 more breaths. Feel the breath moving from the belly to the rib cage to the heart. And then release the arms. Stay grounded into the feet and just start to shift side to side. And the intention here is to notice the sensations in your body. Where do you feel the sensations in the legs? Do you feel the muscles working? And then maybe you want to bring your shoulders, your arms into it. Allowing your body to move. Right? I know these days I'm doing more sitting than I normally do, so let your body move a little bit. You have the advantage of practicing at home, so you have to worry about, does this look? Just move your arms. Maybe you start to even add like a gentle twist, making these movements a little bigger. But stay connected to your body, right? Injuries usually happen when we're not present, when we're not connected. 1 more on each side. And then pause. Notice what you do with your pause. Can you stay in this moment, in this breath, clearing your mind by staying present? Inhale, take your arms wide and up. Exhale, release. Inhale, take your arms out and up. Exhale, release. Last time. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, release. Now you're going to turn your right foot to the right. So right foot to the right. And imagine you were drawing a line from your right heel to the left arch. Okay? So you might want to take a longer stance. You're going to bend the knee. If you notice your knees moving way past the ankle, then that's how you know you need to take a wider stance. But we're trying to align the right heel with the left arch. Arms wide, soften your shoulders. Bend into that right knee gently. Tailbone pointing down. Gaze towards your right fingertips. And again, ground into your feet. Notice your feet. Notice the sensations in the body. Inhale, straighten that right leg, arms up to the sky. 2 breaths, tune into your body. Soften your shoulders. This isn't about how many poses can we do. This is about, are you in the body? Are you experiencing the breath in the body? Exhale, coming back into warrior 2. Bending the right knee, releasing the shoulders, stretching the arms away from you, tailbone pointing down. Check in with your feet. Notice the sensations in that left leg, the right leg. And inhale, straighten the right leg, arms up to the sky. Take 2 breaths. Last time. Exhale, bend into the right knee, coming back into warrior 2. Soften your shoulders. Make all those micro adjustments that are going to help your body feel grounded. So grounding into the feet, spread the toes, tailbone pointing down, arms out, shoulders relaxed. Gaze towards the right fingertips. And then notice your breath. Are you breathing? Now bring your left hand to your left hip. Palm of the right hand facing up. And then as you inhale, take your right arm up to the sky. And notice how this feels right here. You can stay right here, or you can gently reach that right arm back behind you, allowing for a gentle stretch on the right side of the body. Noticing the right rib cage, the intercostal muscles, and again, ground into your feet. Navel in towards the spine, tailbone pointing down. Can you stay grounded and connected to your breath, even when you feel maybe a little bit challenged? I know this group is really active, so perhaps this isn't that big of a challenge for you. Arms open wide, and then release the arms. Releasing the arms nice and slow. Take a breath. Taking that pause with a purpose, right? Can you just be before you instantly jump into the next thing? When you're ready, you're gonna switch the feet. Toes of the left foot out. That right heel is back just a little bit. Maybe you bend into the left knee to make sure that you're not moving past the ankle. And then when you're ready, arms nice and wide. Bend into the left knee. Tailbone pointing down. Press into that right foot, that right leg is active. What sensations do you notice in the body? What's happening with your breath right now? Does your body need you to take a pause? Inhale, straighten that left leg, arms up to the sky. Take 2 breaths. Exhale, bend into the left knee. Keep pressing into that right foot. Arms stretched out, but shoulders are relaxed. Gaze to that left fingers, left hand. Keep stretching out with that right hand. Inhale, straighten that left leg, arms up to the sky. Take 2 breaths. And notice what starts to happen to the mind if you get hot or if you're feeling a little bit tired, right? Building resilience. Expanding your capacity to be with these challenging times by grounding into your body, grounding into your breath. Right hand to the right hip, palm of the left hand up. Keep pressing into that right foot as you take that left arm up to the sky. And maybe this is your beautiful shape right here, or maybe you gently start to take the left hand behind you, just as a micro movement. Feel the gentle stretch in that left rib cage, intercostal muscles. And when you're ready, arms nice and wide. Slowly coming out of your shape. Shifting the left toes forward. Exhale, release the arm. Take a pause, take a breath. Heel toe the feet in. Nice, yeah, and then just shake it out. Notice how your body feels. Notice if you're creating any stories about your body, about your practice. Just let them go. Let them go. Okay. One more shape from a standing position. We come into a balancing shape, which can also be very grounding during uncertain times. So your feet are hip distance apart. Arms are alongside the body, palms facing forward. Navel in towards the spine. Fix your gaze on something that's not moving. And then just gently start to bend that right knee. So just bending That right foot is behind you. And notice if you're a little wobbly, grounding into that left foot to help you stay balanced. Now, without looking at your body, release the right foot and switch sides. Allow your breath to flow freely, softening maybe into that wobbly feeling, giving yourself that reminder that the trees that sway are the strongest trees, right? The ones that are all rigid, they just break. All right, without looking at your body, switch sides one more time. And if this feels super simple, maybe you take the gaze, the head to the right, and maybe you take the head to the left. And if you're still feeling like, oh, that's so easy, close your eyes while you're doing it. We'll see how that goes for you. All right. 2 more breaths, strengthening the bones in the body with this extra weight here. Now, without looking at your body, release the right foot, switching to the left side one last time. And take a few breaths here, grounding your body into the right side, softening your shoulders. Knowing that sometimes life is about just being all over the place, and then we go, wait, we have something to ground into. The body, the breath. If this feels super steady, you can start to take the gaze to the left, the right. If you're rocking it, you can close your eyes and see how that works for you. And whenever you're ready, release your left foot, take a breath, breathing into the sensations in your body. Inhale slowly, as slowly as you can go, take your arms out and up to the sky. As slowly as you can, release your arms to the earth. As one of my teachers says, we know that we can all move quickly, but can we move slowly and stay present? Inhale, arms up. Notice if you just tune out. What happens if you do your practice from the inside out? Last time, arms out and up. This time when you get, take the arms all the way up, you're gonna hook your thumbs. Soften your shoulders. And as you exhale, you're going to tilt to the right, but keep lifting. You're pressing down on your left foot, but you're lifting your heart. Noticing that gentle stretch on the left side of your body. And come back to center. Take a breath. Ground into your feet. Micro bend in the knees. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tilt to the left, or whatever the opposite side is for you. And keep lifting as you ground into the feet, into the right foot. And gently come back to center. Now moving slower than your brain wants you to, release your arms. Slower than your brain wants you to. Sometimes when the nervous system is unregulated, this tells us we have to do a bunch of stuff. So just relax, take a breath. Once again, hand to your heart, hand to your belly. Reconnect with your intention for this day. How do you want to show up in the world? And with the next 2 breaths, reconnect and recommit to your practice. I know from experience that practicing at home, sometimes I'm like, oh, I've been here 45 minutes, I'm gonna go now. Just recommit to your practice, to your self-care. And when you're ready, moving nice and slow, you're going to release onto your back. So take your time, you're gonna release onto your back. If you have a blanket, maybe you use the blanket to support your head. It's not needed, but that might make you feel a little more comfortable. And start with your feet on the mat. That's going to give your lower back some support. So releasing all the way onto your back, giving yourself permission to pause, to notice how your practice is impacting your body. So feet on the mat. Let's take 2 cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And when you're ready, bring your right knee in towards your chest. Palm of the right hand on the right knee. Make some circles with that right leg. Activating the synovial fluid and that right hip socket. Pause after you make circles. You're making circles with that right leg. There you go. It's activating the synovial fluid in that right hip. Bathing your right hip with fresh fluid. Switch those circles in the other direction. And then bring that right foot onto the mat. Take a breath. Left knee into the chest. Palm of the left hand on the left knee. Start to make circles with your left knee, left leg. Feel that movement all the way down into the hip socket. And switch those circles in the other direction. And then bring the left foot onto the mat. Notice your breath. Allow for the natural curves of the spine. Right, so there's a gentle arch in the lower back. Just enough for a tiny lizard to get through there. And then we're gonna do some toe tapping. So lift the right foot and then release. Left foot and then release. Navel in towards the spine as you toe tap. Lift one foot, then the other. Just lifting 1 foot at a time. Notice that gentle engagement in the core. Now you can keep just lifting the feet one at a time. Or the next variation would be to bring the knees up off of the knees up, the feet off of the mat. and then toe tap that way. So one's going to require a little more from the core, grounding you into your sacrum. Stay connected to your sacrum, stay connected to your breath. Right, so part of resilience is knowing when we need to take a break. Not the people around us, but when our own bodies are saying, hey, I need a pause. So we're gonna keep doing this a little while longer, but you honor your own body. Continue to toe tap, navel in towards the spine. You can take your arms over the head if you'd like. Again, building resilience, honoring your own body. And then eventually, release the left foot onto the mat, right foot onto the mat. Walk your feet out a little bit wider. Release your knees over to the left. Take a deep, juicy breath. And when you're ready, knees over to the other side. And let your head decide where it wants to be. Does it want to take the gaze to the right or the left? Can't go wrong if you're listening to your body. Right? Listening is an act of love. Eventually, bring your knees back to center. Knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Maybe you keep the head on the mat, or maybe you lift your forehead towards your knees. And then gently release the head back down. Release the right foot. Release the left foot. Stretch your legs all the way out. Taking the legs a little bit wider than your hips. Arms wide. Palms facing up. Reconnect with your breath. So allow yourself to rest on your back. You're releasing onto your back, softening the head. Yeah, all the way onto the back. Beautiful. Just taking this time to allow your entire system to integrate everything that you've done in your practice. And if you notice your mind wanders away, that's normal. Just bring it back to the parts of the body that are grounding you into the earth. Allowing your breath to deepen, if that feels comfortable for your system right now. Making some gentle movements with your toes, your fingers, and giving yourself this moment to notice what you have created through your practice. Notice how your system feels when you use your body and your breath as a resource. And when it's comfortable for you, bringing the right foot onto the mat, the left foot onto the mat, turning to the right or left side of the body, and gently allowing yourself to come up into a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, gently pressing the hands together. Maybe the thumbs touch the sternum. Bow towards your heart. Bow the intellect of the mind to the wisdom of your heart. Taking one more deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking the time to connect with your body, your mind, and your heart, and for allowing me to guide you through your practice this morning. The love and light in me honors the love and light in you. Namaste. You are welcome to unmute yourself if you'd like to say hello. No pressure. Keep honoring your own bodies. I'm offering classes through my website, Mindful Yoga Tucson. Zoom.
Hi, Gila.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Jennifer, you're in Alaska?
We are. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
It's an
Glad you made it safely.
Turkey.
Great. Wow.
Hilda, can you hear me?
Hi,
Hilda,
Yes.
I just want to thank you. I can't enable my video for some reason. But I want to thank you so much for doing this for us again. We are so very sad we couldn't get together in person. So.
You're welcome. I love you all. I'm thinking about you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Way to wake up.
I was going to try to take a screenshot, everybody who's on here. So, thank you. One.
Thank you, my dear.
1, 2, 3, smile. Thanks, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.